Welcome. So you're listening to Readers and Writers with your hosts, James Hill and Athena Paris of RockHill Publishing. I'm Amy Ravichandran, and today we're talking big fish, little fish. So what does that saying mean to you guys in terms of being writers and authors and a publisher? What does that saying mean for you? I take it as like big fish in a little pond or little fish in a big pond, but how do you mean that?
That's exactly what it means. And I took it from Dr. Seuss, who wrote the book, Big Fish, Little Fish, Green Fish, Blue Fish, something like that. Been a while since I read Dr. Seuss, but he had a story out about a big fish, little fish, green fish, blue fish. When
Yes.
But yes, actually though, what the saying does mean is, do you want to be a big fish in a little pond, meaning that you are the main thing in that pond, or do you want to be a little fish in the big ocean?
Yeah.
So it's like the influence that you have, what kind of influence you have, what kind of success are you looking for? Some people don't mind being the little fish in the big pond. They got some success, and they're looking like, okay, so worldwide, people know who I am. I'm selling books. I'm worldwide. Or do I want to just be known locally? What do you think, Athena?
Yes. Yeah, that is the thing. Is success to you connected to having a fantastic worldwide name, or is success to you what you're doing, you are able to sell? Because sometimes what happens is your dream of what you think you want to achieve is actually not achievable. So you have to be careful with what you want to do and what success means to you. And it's okay to be a big fish in a little pond, because you can be doing fantastically. And because success is not just money, it's all kinds of other things as well. So is making a name for yourself in your community, in your areas, more important than struggling to get yourself amongst the millions of people who are all trying to do the same thing? That's much more difficult. So trying to shine in your community can be successful, and you can be doing quite well. And I know that James has been doing that recently. He's busy, like every few weekends, he's out dragging books around and things like that, but he's meeting people, people are remembering, and he's getting out there, his name, and then he gets invites to radio shows and things like that. So it's a slow step. It's going up the ladder, as they say.
Yeah, and really, you should really start as a big fish in a little pond. Try to make a name for yourself locally, and most people, or I shouldn't say most people, but a lot of people, a lot of writers, they only consider themselves a success if they're published by the big 5 publishing houses, so they don't even want to be considered by local publishers, independent publishers. No, I got to be published by Random House. I got to be published by Putnam, something like that. They don't even go for independent publishers. And that takes years and years of striving to be picked up by somebody who is one of the major houses. Whereas if you went for the independents and went for the smaller houses, you might be picked up a lot sooner, and you would be making a name for yourself, and you'd be making a success of yourself quicker. And then maybe because you do make a success for yourself in one of the independents or smaller houses, you might get picked up later by one of the bigger houses and things like that. Not saying that being picked up by the bigger houses is going to make you a success either. Success is very subjective, like Athena was saying. Everybody's idea of success is not the same. Everybody's level of success is not the same. So I started more recently, since COVID especially, to start doing more local area things. First off, I became more aware of some of the local things that are being done around here, around Virginia Beach, Norfolk, stuff like that. And plus, because I've done a few local things, my name is out there, and other people in the area have asked me to participate or to speak at their things. And so it's a combination. Yes, I do national stuff when I can, and yes, I do local stuff when I can. So in some cases, I'm a little fish in the big pond, and in other cases, I'm the big fish, but it's a smaller pond. And so it's a matter of how you look at yourself, and you shouldn't really pigeonhole yourself. And this goes for life itself. Don't pigeonhole yourself to be one thing. I'll tell you a little story. My brother was a really good basketball player. He played basketball 24/7. And he was really, really good ever since we were kids. In fact, I got on his basketball team because I couldn't play basketball. I could hardly play, but I would say, I'm going to be on my brother's team because I knew my brother could play and we would win. Yeah. But my brother put all his eggs and marbles into being a basketball player. And then he got injured. And it completely derailed his life. And so I learned from that, you got to be able to roll with the punches. You can't just put everything into just one idea, one dream, because that dream can go up in smoke with a car that turned the corner the wrong way. He was hit on a bike by a car or something like that, messed up his leg, and there went his chances of college and all that kind of stuff. So he's now back to basketball because now he does he refereed basketball games and everything. Yeah, and I was coaching basketball games at one time for my sons and for the kids. And the first thing he told me when he heard that I was coaching basketball was, how can you be the coach of a basketball team? You can't play. Which I told him, yeah, but I learned from you how to play. So I know how to coach. I know how to teach other people how to play and how not to play. So you have to be able to look beyond your own dreams and be able to roll with those dreams, because not all your dreams are going to come true. So
yeah, no, that's true. And I definitely agree. It's better to be really well known in your community and sell books and do things like that than trying to be like well known all over when you're not even known in your community, right? I mean, I think that there's always like baby steps when it comes to growth and like gaining traction as an author, which is getting known in your city, in your community, right? And then from that, those people, you know, families, friends, whatever, they have family all over. And so then you will eventually spread out, right? You will like blossom into this flower, but you have to be well known into or like in your community, because that's where everything's going to start. If they don't know you there, right, you know, how is everyone else in the world going to know you? You know, I would much rather be, in my opinion, a little fish in a big pond, right, swimming around because of the possibilities of where I could go. But when I like would go home, I don't know, like wherever my coral or whatever is, be really well known in that circle, right? Like in Houston, I lived there. Now that I don't live there, I'm really well known in Houston and I live like an hour outside of it, right? But it's just things like that, like I think would be.
Well, Amy, you made a good name for yourself. You would recently got notoriety and everything for the businesswoman that you are and for the work that you have done. Right. And so you know what I'm talking about. It's not where you start, it's where you end up. Like so many people have authors that we know, the first thing they ask me, are you going to get me in Barnes and Noble? You know, am I going to get on the shelf in Barnes and Noble? Mm-hmm. And I have to tell them, Barnes and Noble is the end of the road. You have to start over here at the beginning of the road. You know, if I could get you into Barnes and Noble, you probably don't need me.
Right? You know?
If your book is automatically going to go on the bestseller list in Barnes and Noble, good for you. I am very proud. I'm happy to publish your book, but I don't see that as being the start of the journey. That's the end of the journey. And like
Yeah.
I said, Amy, you recently won some awards about being like the top 10, but
Yeah.
it didn't come overnight for you. You've
No.
been in business for years now.
Yeah, a really long time. I've been doing this a really long time. But no, I mean, I always think about it, in the terms of, I feel like success for an author should be having a new person read your book. It shouldn't be like where your book is hosted or, what awards that you've won or whatever, but it should be you have new people each year, each month, each day, whatever, reading your book. And I think, because that's ultimately why you wrote it, right? I mean, you put so much like blood, sweat, tears, everything into these books. And so I would always, I always kind of kick it back. And I'm just like, maybe success is how many people are reading your book, how many new people are reading your book and leaving you reviews, right? And
Yeah.
spreading it that way. Like, I think sometimes you just have to reevaluate what success looks like for that journey that you're on in your life, right? Like a business journey or a writing journey or whatever. Success looks different in each avenue. So, I mean, it's definitely one of those things. Start small. That's I don't know. Because I don't know how I've won any of these awards. I just am in my little pool. I like my pool. I'm good, So I don't know. Always start small. Be known where you live first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like that.
Yeah, it's better to be known in your community. Then you're like the local celebrity. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, that would be so much fun. Just everyone knows you. I mean, I guess that would be like a good and a bad thing, but
Oh, you know what I say? Fame and fortune are great, but just give me the fortune.
yeah, hey, there we go. There you go. I like that too. Yes, that is perfect. Well, next week, you guys, we're talking about reviews. So I know me and James and Athena have always kind of dabbled in reviews, getting reviews for your book. What does it look like? Even if you get a bad review. So that is coming up next week. You're definitely not going to want to miss that. But you have been listening to Readers and Writers, and we'll catch you all next week. Bye, everybody.